Hi, this is Imagination. So we're going to cover something. This is something I've noticed with business, and it's never talked about in all of business. And I really want to get it out there early if you're building a business, if you're trying to figure out your way through it, because this is a reality. And if someone's not talking to you about it, it's going to make your journey really, really difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out what's really going on. And this is it precisely, is you have your life stream. Now, your life stream is literally aligned with you. It is what you love. It's what you want. It's what you dream, and it is what is meant for you. Now, most of a society is designed to take you off of this. I cannot emphasize that to you enough. That is a hardcore, let's get real here, is society is designed to take you off of your life stream. And the sooner you realize this, the easier your life is going to be, because then you can prepare for this and also fix it. Society is literally designed to take you off your life stream. Your life stream is incompatible with society. It absolutely is. Society is only allowed for the first through fourth perspectives. However, that's not where people live or stay or grow. And that is the problem. It is not at all where we're supposed to be. This is kindergarten. This is literally your ethical IQ. So society is literally designed only to allow and tolerate and manage the first through fourth perspectives. It is all the things that we do in our society, all the rules that we have, all the laws, all of the enforcement that goes on is 100% designed for that first, second, third, fourth perspective. So the question is, what happens if you hit fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth perspective? Well, now you're screwed. Now you're screwed. Now, by the time you hit the fifth perspective, that's when you realize that life is crap and you're going to do your own thing. However, there is no path. There is absolutely no road for you. There is absolutely nothing to help you. And this is where you're going to hear a lot of people say, you're going to have to figure it out. Now, here's the problem with that. We call that in mathematics trial and error, because they have no idea, but they're not going to tell you that. So it's trial and error. This is something that we do in math called scientific method. It's actually, what's the Greek word for it? I'm going to skip the Greek word. It is literally the science of discovery. It's a thing. Like, we do this in science. So if you're a scientist, you know this and you're fine, because you got chain reaction science. So you're good. You're like, oh yeah, it's fine. So it's fine. But scientists, well, because we figured it out, we have a path. So we're good. So if you're a scientist, you're all set. You know what you're doing. But for the rest of the planet, it's a problem. Now, it's a problem. So here's what we're looking at. So there's your life stream, and then there's where society tells you you should be. So you've got these two competing, and we're going to really use the words here, competing life streams. Okay? So there is this societal life stream, and I'm going to write this out, and you're going to go, oh yeah, I know what that is. So you've got traditional school, and then you have the whole go to college, and then you have the whole get a job and get married, and then pay taxes and death. So according to the competition, this is it right here. This is exactly what this is. And we are not seeing this anymore. This is something that a lot of people are now getting pissed off about, and we're gonna break this down for you, and I'm gonna show you what happens here. So it's around here that kids start to ask. Every child of any generation for the last 50 years has asked this question: why do I have to learn this? And here's the best part: teachers don't know which is a clue. Well, we're going to call that a red flag. And then parents, and then kids will ask parents, do you even remember this? And parents will go, parents say, I never use this. And this is normal. We've been doing this for 150 years. 150 years. So now logicians ask the question, then why are you doing it? And to which all the lemmings say, because they said so. And there you go. There you have it. This is life. So then it's around here that you go to college to get a better paying job. That's what they tell you, but that's not what happens. This is actually going to be real fun. So this is the reality. The reality is the education is 100% useless. That's the reality. And you're going to figure this out when you're in your 30s. When you're in your 30s and you're going, okay, everything I just wasted my life on over the last 30 years is shit. What the hell? And then you go to college, you go to get that better paying job, and you can't get a job. So you get a minimum wage job because you're overqualified. That's right. That's going to happen every time. I have yet to see anybody who contradicts that. Still doing the surveys, still waiting for somebody to contradict that. Have not yet found it. So there's that. And then it's around this time that you realize, I hate my life, and they lied to me. This is what we call a midlife crisis. But this is the best part. They're going to gaslight you. When you get to this point, they're going to gaslight and tell you you're having a midlife crisis. Instead of actually listening to you, they're going to gaslight you and say you're having a midlife crisis, which isn't a midlife crisis at all. It is your live stream going, what about me? Because you don't even belong over here. You belong over here. Remember this? This is not going to make any sense to you. Like, this is the way our society is. So you do their stupid line right over here, and they lie to you the entire time to keep you on this line to sustain the system. And the reality is all of this right here. And these are the conversations you are going to have that 100%, so far, I'm still running surveys, has said, yeah, this is exactly what I was told. Now, the new generation is starting to figure this out because people are getting a little bit smarter while people are getting dumber. There's actually a schism taking place. People are getting really stupid and people are getting really smart. And that is absolutely causing a dive. And what's going on is this, is people, Generation X's and millennials, have done the math. And it's absolutely, there was a divide between Gen X and millennials where we did the logic and we went, what the hell are you doing? I believe it was 1995. I 100% blame 1995. 1995 was an amazing year. That was the year the government made the genius idea of cutting our funding for art. So every artist in the world, that was me, I was one of that group, screamed, no, and took matters into their own hands. That's what happened in 1995. Now, every one of those artists and scientists, because, you know, Einstein was huge on, you know, pushing the arts. So literally every artist, every scientist did the math on, well, that's stupid. And we did our own thing. We 100% broke away from the system and we took matters into our own hands and we supplemented. That is what happened. We supplemented, but the government did not know that people were supplementing their own education. And there's people who supplemented and there are people who did not. And that's really what's going on, is you have a lot of people who supplemented, not as many, but we have a lot of people who supplemented and a lot of people who did not. So you have supplemented education. And it's literally 1995 is to blame. They even did a whole movie on it called Mr. Holland's Opus to highlight, like, don't do this. And that was the divide. Like, there were teachers, I remember this, there were parents who said, that's it, we're homeschooling. And then others who were like, oh no, we got to supplement. So they immediately put their children into the arts to compensate because schools weren't going to do that. Oh my God, it was a catastrophe. In 1995 was this massive educational schism. And now here we are in 2024, and all the non-artists are over there 20 IQ points, fact, 20 IQ points lower. They're now 100 average IQ instead of 120. And then you've got all these other people over here who are the scientists and the artists who figured this out and supplemented. So now you've got a lot of self-teachers. Now those same self-teachers are looking at this going, what the fuck are you guys doing? Because this is my live stream. So you've got this chaos thing here, which is designed just to farm you to sustain the system. We literally call this farming you for your resources. So farming you, they're totally Soylent Greening you. So farming you for your resources. And that's it. And the reason why is because of this lovely little thing right here, where they get 30% of your income. That's it right there. That's why. Because if you get a job, they get 30% of what you make. That's what's doing it. That's it right there. So some people, it's around the midlife crisis stage that they decide to come over here. That's what's going on. They say, fuck this shit, and they immediately beeline back to their life stream. That's what's going on. The problem is you have all of this garbage now right here that needs to get undone. And then you've got some people who, I love these people. These are the fifth perspectives right here. This is exactly what this is. You've got some people who right in here decided right off the bat to say, fuck that shit, and they just jumped. And these are your fifth perspectives, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, who decided to go and, actually strategically become an entrepreneur. So you see that happen a lot, which is literally like the best thing for you. Now, at fifth ethical perspective, you are going to immediately want to get a job. You are going to want to be a business owner. And 100% of all fifth perspectives they get the bug and they're like, I got to be a business owner. So you can either prepare for that or you can follow this system that literally takes your life stream away from you. So I'm going to be very, very clear on this. Happiness is over here. Happiness and no pain and abundance are over here. This is where happiness, no pain, and abundance is. Over here, you're going to have misery and pain and poverty. I'm going to tell you that right now. So now you've got this massive extreme of misery, pain, poverty on one line, which is where society puts you. And you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to get to your life stream. So the sooner you realize this is what's going on, the sooner you can just say, I'm just going to get to my life stream. And that is literally all we do at the Healing Garden, is we've designed this thing for you to literally just disappropriate yourself and get back into your own life stream. That's all we do. So the more you know about this, the more you can just be prepared for it. You really just, and this is really what we're looking for here. So you're at that point, you're getting your business built up. It's really awesome. Where are my little, there they are. And this is the beautiful thing we want to look at. So you've got your timeline, and this is your business. So this is you and your live stream, and you want to be a business owner. Now, you've got all of that crap from society. And this is going to be a problem because this is where we see a lot of this. This is your live stream. So we're going to call these annoying things obstacles. Now, I love to call obstacles something different. I love to call obstacles a point of learning or a point of growth. That is actually what a problem is. It's a point of growth. And once you understand how to recognize them and manage them, oh my God, it's so much easier. It's a skill. It's called problem solving. So, and there's a lot of people who are going to lie to you about that. And they're going to tell you, oh, that comes with problems. No, it doesn't. It's called problem solving. Mathematicians have that figured out. So you got all your points of growth. Now, here's the best thing about points of growth. Okay, so there's all this. This is reality. Now watch this. Okay. See what's happening? Yeah, this is learning. Yep. So this is literally how this works. The first time you get your point of growth, you're not going to be able to do this. Well, you are. It's going to take practice and it's going to be really hard. But after a while, it gets easy and easier until you get this little itty bitty guy, and then suddenly you have no problems. And this is what we call problem prevention. And then right here, it's called problem prevention. You have no problems. Literally like problem prevention right there. That's it. It's just problem prevention. That's all you're doing. But you got to be able to go through these, and you have to be able to know how to do it. You have to know this consciously. A lot of people do not know this consciously, so you're not going to be able to do it. And this is not at all what it feels like, because you're trapped inside a single point. That's why. This is the big picture. We're zooming you out to show you the big picture of what's really going on. So this is your life stream. These are your points of growth. These are your problems. So this is really what we want to get you at, is we want to get you to the point where you've managed them and you're like, oh, yay, another point of growth. And you're going to realize you're getting better and better at it. Literally, it's called apprenticeship, tradesman, master, philosopher, where every one of these just gets easier and easier for you. So you've got that happening for you. Now, you've got another problem here, and we're going to call these assholes noisy know-nothings. You've got to be aware of the noisy know-nothings. Now, I'm going to be blunt with you. Noisy know-nothings are absolutely 100% preventable with the fourth ethic. You have the fourth ethic, and that will shut them right up. But you got to be able to recognize it and know. So this is you got to know what you're up against. So these assholes are all the noisy know-nothings. And I'm going to show you what these assholes do. They're all over the place. Now, I'm going to put, do you see, you've already got your problems, but you're also going to have all these stupid ass noisy know-nothings. My God, I hate the noisy know-nothings. And by the way, as you learn how to get rid of these assholes, it happens less and less. And oh my God, it's like this. It's like they're all crowded up here, giving you all the advice in all the world that you didn't ask for. That we call that non-consensual education. And there you go. And then after a while, you learn how to close them out and see how they're like, there's less and less. So there's going to be a lot more here at the front. So when you finally do get over to where you want to get to your life stream, you gotta break through these assholes. Now you've got your point of growth, but then you've got all these stupid assholes. You just want to shut them all up. So once you recognize them, and once you realize that, and here's the problem. Once you realize this, they're going to go away. And I'm going to show you what they are and what's going on. What they are is they are people who come from this line, but you're trying to live over here. I really want you to sit with this knowledge for a minute. I really want us to take a step back, and I want you to process this, because this is really the key point here. When you come to live over here, there is one key rule, and that key rule is no one's going to tell you what to do. It's quiet. It's real quiet, which means if you come to live over here, no one should be advising you. No one should be advising you, but that's not what happens. These assholes follow you from up here. Now, as soon as you figure this out, life is going to be easy for you. And I'm going to show you what's going on. So when you get to this point right here, the whole get a job, you're going to have a group of people not currently represented on this graph. And we're going to rectify this. So what's going on is you get a tangent. These are the people who realized, oh, this is the miserable paying and poverty line. I don't want this line. And they don't want to be part of that line. So why isn't my line moving? I want to pick it up and move it, and it's not letting me. So what's going on now is this. That's not at all where I want this. Interesting. I have tech problems often because I am one of those persons that I'm just like, what's going on? So this is basically a tangent where they realized that if they just break off and become entrepreneurs, they're going to have a great life. But they're not ethical. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're not actually going down to the live stream. So what they do is they create this 1955 offshoot. I just don't know what's going on with my thing right now. Usually it's very, very obedient, but it's not. So there you go. We're going to put it up there. So you have this alternate timeline, and this alternate timeline is the unethical or traditional business model. Now, if you are ethical, this is not going to feel good for you. You're not going to be okay with it. It is filled with two massive things. The first thing that this thing is filled with is literally criminal psychology. I kid you not. I've done the research. It's criminal psychology. And the other thing it's filled with is criminal language. Absolutely. So if you are ethical, you're going to have a really big problem with this, which is why so many people don't do it, is because and this is where you get that reputation. Now, there's a lot of ethical people who compromised their ethical integrity because they were that miserable in paying and impoverished. And they're living with that psychological consequence. That's one of the things we take care of is, there is an ethical way we found it. So what's really going on is when you dip into the business world, what you are really stepping into is the assholes from this line right here, advising you how to build the unethical business model using criminal psychology and criminal language. And they're going to tell you that's not true because they're narcissists and criminals, but that's okay. You just need to be aware of it. So now going back over to this, these assholes have actually followed you from the other line. Now, once you realize one key factor, which is called non-consensual education and sales, as soon as you realize those two key factors, you're going to recognize them and you're going to be able to tell them to shut the fuck up. So when that happens, they're going to go away. And that's your fourth ethic. You use the fourth ethic to shut those guys up. And now all you've got to deal with is your point of growth. Isn't that nice? Now, here's the problem. And this is why I'm doing this video. Are we all listening? This is why we're doing this video. The longer they stick around, they're going to put shit into your head. And the shit that they are going to put in your head are these. This is what we call a mental barrier. This is going to be a problem, and I'm going to explain it to you. So we need to really get this through. A mental barrier is an unethical practice or a belief. It's an unethical practice or belief that the noisy know-nothings taught you. And unfortunately, skeptics and idioms, not idiots, idioms are going to be the two offending factors. An idiom is a common phrase in our culture, common phrase that you hear in our culture, like emotions are illogical. Emotions are, illogical. That is an idiom that is actually illogical. So you're going to end up with a lot of these. Now, the sooner you can shut those stupid, noisy know-nothings out, the sooner you're going to be okay. The less of these you're going to have. So in addition to your points of growth, you're going to end up with these mental barriers. One of their most common mental barrier is this. You have a money problem. Are you ready? That's what they're going to tell you. I'm going to translate it. You have an ethical dilemma, which means their methods won't work for you because you have ethics and they don't. So they're going to tell you to do a whole lot of things that are unethical. It's like the business version of being told you have to smoke in the bathroom to be cool. It's just like that. It is exactly like that. We're going to call this peer pressure. Peer pressure. Ah! Oh my God, it's so horrible. It is so awful. Adult peer pressure is the worst. And you're probably thinking, wait, that happens as an adult? And there's other people going, oh my God, that is exactly it. I know, right? Peer pressure. Peer pressure, adult peer pressure it's the equivalent of smoking in the bathroom to be cool. That's what you're dealing with. Such a huge, see, this is called logical comprehension. When you feel the relief of logical comprehension, clicking all the logical code into place. Oh, that's the bullshit I'm dealing with. Well, now I can get rid of it. And that's how you clean out your ass, is when you get rid of all the logical nonsense. So, illogical nonsense. So you have a money problem. That's what they're going to tell you. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have an ethical dilemma with their tactics because they're criminals. And they're going to tell you, no, sales is necessary. No, it's not. You want to know how I know? Because when you go to a restaurant and a waitress is sitting there taking your order and flirting with you and offering you champagne, are you feeling pressured for sales? Because that's sales. That's how it's done. See the difference? Sales and being waited on at a restaurant are the same thing. How would you feel if a waitress treated you like a salesman? I just want the world to sit with that for a minute. It's an experience in a restaurant, but on the phone, they're abusive assholes. And then they tell you, oh, but it's necessary. Then why don't restaurants do it? Logic. So it's peer pressure. So that's what you're dealing with. Now, there's something else they're going to tell you, and it's bullshit. They're going to accuse you of having imposter syndrome. This is what we call bad psychology. It's not imposter syndrome. What it really is called the forbidden fruit paradox. The forbidden fruit paradox hides, well, actually, it doesn't hide. It tells you the truth. The imposter syndrome hides the truth. The forbidden fruit paradox is you're not allowed to have authority because you don't have the authority to claim your authority. So you're waiting for someone to give you authority. But the paradox is there's only self-authority, which means you've got to choose to take the authority. But if you're waiting for someone to give you the authority, that's going to create a paradox because you cannot be given authority. There's only ever self-authority. And as soon as you realize that, you have to give yourself permission. Imposter syndrome is bullshit. And it denies that and covers it up so the people telling you imposter syndrome can continue to be in control over you. So imposter syndrome is actually a red herring by these assholes over here who gave you more of these barriers. So these are the most two common mental barriers you get, is that you've got a money problem and imposter syndrome. Now, here's the other problem to that, is there is something that is a very real medical condition with real science and everything called mass hysteria and placebo effect. See, this is the amazing thing about the subconscious mind, that even psychologists know that if you tell the subconscious mind that you've got it, you're going to get it. So you really shouldn't be telling people they have an imposter syndrome or they're going to get it. Which is why I call it the forbidden fruit paradox. Because it's a paradox. It's not a disease. It's a paradox. It's standing there over there on its own, just doing its own thing. It's knowledge for you to go, wow, look at that thing. But it's not putting it into your brain, because that's how subconscious minds work. You don't want to put it into your brain. But by using words like disease and syndrome and diagnosis, oh, that's going to put it right into your brain whether you've got it or not. All a psychologist has to do is tell you you've got it, and poof, you've got it. Because placebo effect. This is mass hysteria. That's how it works. So we want to make sure that the mental barriers are going to be minimized, which means the sooner you get out of this horrible life stream, the better for you. Really, truly. Now, my program goes out to literally everybody. I have this program from 12-year-olds on up. I was an adult at 12. So I'm going to tell you right now, I am a firm believer that 12-year-olds are adults. And if there's an adult sitting there, yeah, fuck you. 12-year-olds are adults. And you're an idiot if you think otherwise. 12-year-olds are adults. They think like adults. They have more logic than adults. What we're talking about is responsibility. And I have seen 9-year-olds pull off shit. The difference is whether, and I'm sorry, no, I stand by what I'm saying. There's a difference between being forced to grow up, but hey, no adult should be growing up. No adults should be abandoning play and imagination. Just because you're an adult does not mean you should be abandoning your childhood and your play. Your childhood should, listen to me, children, listen to me, people. Your childhood should stay with you your whole life. And you are really fucking up your inner child if you're not doing that, because you've got an inner child inside of you for a reason. That's why you're so miserable and painful on the poverty line, is because your 5-year-old child inside of your head is still 5. You don't get to give up your childhood ever. Keep it with you, which is what happens when you go to your own live stream. So if you're 12 and you're hearing this information for the first time and you're getting it, fantastic. You're where I was. You're going to be fine. Oh yeah, you're going to be fine. If you are 12 to 18, you got this. I'm going to tell you right now, you are where every adult wishes they were. If you are 18 to 35, you're going to be fine. It's going to be a quick recovery. We're going to get you back on track. If you are over 35, this is where it's not too late to enjoy the rest of your life. And that's it, bottom line. If you are over 35, you're going to have a lot of stuff to have to clean out. That's why we have the healing garden. If you are between 18 and 35 and you're getting this for the first time, fantastic. We have a lot less to clean out. The whole idea of I've got to unlearn to learn. No, you don't. That's not how the subconscious mind works. That is what we call more garbage from the noisy know-nothings. So that's another one we can add to the list that they tell you that's full of bullshit. That's not how it works. That's not how the brain works. You do not have to unlearn to learn. No, who told you that? Who is saying this stupid shit? Logically, that doesn't even make sense. So this is another crappy thing. That's another mental barrier. Boop, gone. Gone. All you have to do is shift your ass. That's all you got to do. Shift your ass. All you've got to do. Your RAS is your reticular articulating system. Reticular articulating. Your RAS, your articulating system, is the part of your subconscious mind that allows you to focus wherever you want it to focus. Words are what makes it focus. So you have your RAS, your reticular articulating system, and you literally shift your RAS around, and you can like have it be very narrow. You can open it up, you can expand it out, you can zoom in. Most people are trapped inside a little bubble, and they're inside the little dot inside the bubble, looking around the little fish tank going, oh, yes, you need to get out of the little hole and then expand out. So we do that. It's called mental diversification, and it's RAS discipline, RAS control. RAS control is a really great word for that. And so we teach you RAS control at the garden. That way you can expand out. These are the skills you should have learned in school that you're not going to be learning in school. I'm going to tell you that right now. So it's RAS control is what we teach you. And the sooner you have your RAS fixed and cleaned out, you're going to have to clean out your RAS twice a day. I clean out mine twice a day. And I'm really good at it. Like I am, nothing touches my RAS. And I still clean it out twice a day, which means you probably need to be cleaning out your RAS like every hour, which I used to have to do. I got to a point where I got rid of all the noisy know-nothings. I had to boundary up, and I had to center myself. I had to triangulate, and then I had to use my RAS to clean it all out and then expand it out. And I literally went 6 months without any human contact because I just had to empty out my RAS. I had it down to just one person in that time period. And I do mean it, 6 months of just absolute isolation. No one was allowed to talk to me for 6 months. And the one person I allowed was a narcissist. Finally got rid of her. And when I did that, I had 3 solid months of just silence. And then I cherry picked one very healthy person and put him into my circle. And my God, was there a difference. He empowered, he elevated, he nurtured. And then I brought somebody in who was a very old dear friend of mine, and I immediately recognized the toxicity and I pushed her out. And now it's like, okay, where do I get people? And then it's like cherry picking people to make sure they elevate, they empower, and they nurture. And if they don't do that, because I am like hyper, like, don't touch my RAS. And I'm also learning how to, when I do come around those people, that I protect my RAS, that I use my 4th ethic, discernment, for protection. So when you finally get over to your life stream, when you get here, how old you are when you get here is going to determine how much extra work you have to do. Because because you're gonna have, depending upon when you come in, you're going to have these assholes. And the more these guys are all here, the more they're going to be there. So you're going to have all of these assholes with their non-consensual education adding more of these things to the problem. And they're going to be all over. And the longer you keep them here, the more they're going to clog this up. Okay? So you're going to want to get rid of them. Now, if you came over very early, this is what it's going to look like. And I do mean this. If you are born in the live stream, I don't know who you are, and you are amazing. Wow. If you are 12 to 18 and you're getting here, this, for the most part, might be all you have. If you are a parent, thank you for being here early. This is really what you want to do for your child. This is good parenting. Going, wow, I actually want my child to succeed, and I want to make sure my child is protected from the system because the system is toxic. All this, oh, Sarah, bad influence. No, they're not. The system is the bad influence. So what you really want to do is, ideally, I'm going to show you what the world looks like if it's just this. And this is it. This is it exactly. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind because I want to keep all of this. What I'm going to do is this, because I want to be able to print that out to show. There we go, the difference. I want the comparison. All right, so here we go. All right. So what you're looking at, really, this is a healthy person model. The healthy person model. There you go. This is what is supposed to happen. And this is it. And a proper school will literally teach you how to do this. That's it. So when you go and you build your business, you're going to feel these obstacles. You're going to feel this chain reaction, and you're going to hit these moments where, and this is really something I want to emphasize, because this is exactly what it feels like, is you've got these things in here. And then you'll get to this particular part of the development. You'll be here with it, and you can see the end result. And what happens, it looks like this. You'll be building your business, you'll be making progress, and I'm so excited about this. I was very excited when I saw this. I want you, why can't I'm having one of those tech days. Okay, so there you go. So this is what your business plan looks like, where you've got all these mental barriers. That's not including the obstacles. These are just your mental barriers. It's the question, what do I need to do next? It's not knowing what to do. So you're going to literally be weeding out, and you cannot weed all of them out. You got to weed one at a time. So we're going to do you here. This is you. La, 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 la. And we're going to turn you green because you're healthy and you're growing. All right. So here you are. You're on your live stream. You overcome your first obstacle. And boom, you get this thing and it blasts away. And you're like, all right. And you get to the next one and you have to stop. This is how it's done, people. And then boom, you're going to blast that out. And you're like, progress. And then you're going to stop. And then you're going to have to like clean that out, and clean that out. And then you're going to go, yippee, and you're going to feel like you're finally, by the way, that's momentum. You just felt it when you did the whole wee. And then you get to this point and you're going to stop again. And then you're going to have to weed out these obstacles. And then you're going to be able to jump ahead until finally the path is clear. Once the path is clear, that's when you make money. Now, while that's happening, there's also something else going on. And while that's going on, let's go ahead and put all that back for a minute. I want to show you something else here because there's something else going on here. So what's going on is this right here. These are all the people who are your people. They are in your network. They love you. It does not matter how old you are. You can be 15 doing this. Does not matter how old you are. Do not ever, ever let anyone tell you your age is an obstacle. That is bullshit. That is crap. That is crap from those noisy know-nothings. Don't ever let them tell you that you noisy know-nothings. That's what they are. Okay? So this is what society looks like, okay? Let me see here. So this is it right here, is you're like, la, 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 and you hit that obstacle. And then we break down this obstacle here. And you got to work through these mental barriers. And then you're going to meet your first person. And you're going to be like, oh my God, a person. And you're thinking money. No, you're not going to get money yet. And then you're going to just continue and you're going to be like, wow, more people. This is the first sign that you're working through it. And then you're going to hit another obstacle. And then you're going to work through these mental barriers. And you're just going to like, boom, and you're going to think, again, I'm there. But then you're going to hit another barrier. Now, this time you've got people all around you. And this is the best part, is these people stay with you. Because you pick them up and you carry them with you and they follow you because they're your buddies. Which one was me? Okay. So then you got to work through more of these mental barriers. And once you work through the last, no, that was my person. Once you work through the last of these barriers, no, my peers. That is, why can't I get this last mental barrier? You know, I asked myself that. Why can't I get my last mental barrier? You're going to ask yourself that. And there you go. And that is what it looks like. That's when you know, okay, I've got this figured out. That is exactly what it looks like. So when you understand, and this is it, is there's going to be mental barriers. The mental barriers are not you. You're going to have to learn the skill of how to clean out all the mental barriers. You're going to have to learn that skill. So we're going to go ahead and do that over here. It's cleaning out the RAS. Cleaning out your RAS. Okay, that's one of the things you're going to have to do. The other thing you're going to have to learn the skill of is problem solving, which I like to call points of growth. So overcoming your points of growth. And that's going to get easier. But cleaning out your RAS is going to get easier. You're going to need that fourth ethic of boundaries. Now, and that's it. And then you're going to have to weed out. You're going to have to sort out. I like to use, I'm going to use sort out, assess the BS advice. Now, this is going to be hard because if you allow the BS advice to come in from fake authorities, and this is it right here, you're going to have BS advice from fake authorities. And as a result, that's going to really, once you learn these skills, oh, you're unstoppable. You're going to be fine. The sooner you learn these 4 skills, you can do anything. Holy shit, can you do anything? This is what they don't teach you in school. So that's what we cover here in the Healing Garden, are those 4, a lot more, but that right there is a big part of what we do, is cleaning out your RAS, how to overcome your points of growth. That is your problem solving skills. And then your 4th ethical boundaries, and then assess the BS advice from fake authorities. Now, one more thing before we wrap this up that's really, really important to talk about is there is something called a humble authority, which is very difficult to find, versus a fake authority, which are the noisy know-nothings. Oh my God. I have a thing on my LinkedIn where when I find a humble authority, I let people know this person is legit. And that's it. I don't say it very often, but when I find the real deal, I let people know this is the real deal. What you want to look for is, do they post? Are you listening to me? Because this is really important. Their success rate. Nothing else matters. Degree, irrelevant. 100% garbage. Credentials, doesn't matter. If they've spoken at some sort of a guest speaker at a unit, doesn't matter. What's their success rate? That's what matters. Look for that. What is their success rate? A good success rate. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about a good success rate. Polio vaccine. Success rate, 99.9%. I believe it's 100%, to be honest with you. That's a good success rate. You know what else is a good success rate? Penicillin. Penicillin has a great success rate. That again is like 99.9%, excluding allergic reaction. If somebody's allergic to penicillin, don't count those. Excluding allergic reactions, allergic peoples. Okay? There you go. I can't spell penicillin. There you go. Let's try that. Penicillin. All right. That's a good success rate. All right. You ready for this? Alcoholics Anonymous. You know what their success rate is? 8%. Google it. True story. 8 to 12%. You know what that means? That is what we call a 92% failure rate. Truth is in the numbers. Right there. If somebody is actually legit, they will give you their success rate. Ask. Don't listen to the numbers. There's 8 billion, McDonald's does this. 500 billion burgers sold. Great. And what's the quality? Just because you've sold them doesn't mean they're satisfied. Like, you really want to look at the success rate. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. You want the success rate. If they sell to you, sells equals fake. Waiters don't sell. I mean, they do, but you wouldn't know it. They do, but you don't even know they're doing it because they're that good. Sells equals they're fake. So if they're selling to you, it's garbage. It's absolute garbage. This is my big thing that I use to tell this. This is it right there. Do they show you the man behind the curtain? I do not. I am a new business. I spent the last 20 years doing all of the research and study. So I just launched this business and my success rate doesn't exist yet because I'm literally like just building it up. I'm looking for my first few clients. I've done case studies. So, and I'm looking at this going, okay, I've got my science, I've got my research. So I show you the man behind the curtain. Once I have my success rates in, then I'll be able to post those. But I show the man behind the curtain. I know what it looks like. I'm going to tell you right now, most people do not even know what they look like. I have only seen 2 other companies actually doing this. 2. Of all the businesses that I've researched, 2 actually do this. The other one, I'm going to tell you, with the 90-day pipeline on LinkedIn, legit stuff, really good stuff. They will give you so much free content. They show you everything. They show you it all. And it's the right stuff. It's 100% compatible with ethical sales. It's beautiful material. So I'm huge on yes. The other one is my franchise company, which is iFranchise Group. iFranchise Group shows you their shit because they're the real deal. They show you, they tell you what there's no smoke and mirror. And that's it right there. Do they show you the man behind the curtain or are they showing you a magic trick? And once you know that sales is fake, because waiters don't sell, do they show you the man behind the curtain and what's their success rate? If they're not giving you those, they are not, they're crap. They are crap. If they're throwing marketing and sales at you, they're fakers. If they're bragging, they're fakers. Sales and marketing is fake. And I'm really going to remember that waiters don't sell. They don't need to. And the other thing is advertising. See, advertising plus statistics, plus the success rate. This is really great. If you do advertising plus success rate plus man behind the curtain, oh, you're fine. It allows you to actually look at what they're doing before you even sign on. So there you go. There you have it. That is exactly how you tell the fake, fraud, all of it, the real deal. Let me just go one more thing back here. So that is really the overall business model of what you can expect. And in my Build a Business program, I break that down and I show you also the ethical path to do all of this. I really base a lot of my business off of the off of 2 industries that have everything figured out. The first one is the restaurant industry. I base everything off of the restaurant industry because those are people who have got their shit figured out, because this cracks me up. So an academic study, there's a science to it. It's literally the science of discovery. It's a thing in science that we do. And the very first academic discipline that we mastered was cooking. And when I first got into this, I was like, why did they figure it out? It's because the food had to taste good. No, it's because they get food poisoning and die if they didn't figure it out. So we mastered the cooking chef industry, the food industry a long time ago. It is the oldest industry. because you can't afford to mess that up. You just can't do it. And the food stands on its own feet. There's no marketing. There's a dude out front going, have a sample. Right? You walk into an restaurant industry, they're not sitting there going, you need this right now. It's going fast. You need to make a decision. No, they sit there and they pour you a glass of wine and they bring you some breadsticks and they give you this really awesome melted butter. It's awesome from Paris sometimes. And they like wine and dine you while they talk. That's the way business should be. That's the difference. That's the difference. And this is the best part about the restaurant industry is you get tiers. Do you want to do a McDonald's? Do you want to do a Red Lobster? Or do you want to go to the Ritz? Or do you want to go like be served by Gordon Ramsay? Those are the differences. They got this figured out. Businesses do a McDonald's model with a CEO. And I'm going, dudes, what are you doing? What are you doing? No wonder why your business is like, what are you doing? I've yet to figure that out. Is they have this, at the bottom, they've got Burger King happening, but at the top, they're like, oh yeah, IBM does this. IBM does it. Where at the top, they're this big elite company, but down at the bottom, they're like McDonald's. Apple does it. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Why aren't you following the restaurant industry? Here's people. There's no reason why you can't have an elite, gorgeous experience. Oh, that's how I do my business. Like I totally like absolutely come in like lounge. It's going to be an experience. And they've got and I've been in these jobs. Oh my God, where they'll sit there and they'll harp on you. They'll tell you this shit. I don't understand it. They're like, we're going to McDonald's you, but we want McDonald's to be a 5-star restaurant. It's not going to happen, dudes. Just not going to happen. I was 25 years old. I was 30 then, working debt collections, and they wanted me to give a 5-star elite customer service experience when it was a McDonald's. Do you know anything about business? I wanted to say to them. It's just, what do you expect? Like, what are you doing? You've corralled all of your customers like it's a line at Wendy's. What are you doing? Pick a team and commit. Are you a 5-star restaurant or are you Burger King? What are you doing? Yeah, so figure that out. This is a big part of restaurants have it figured out. So when you're building your business, and this is the difference between Mother Nature's business model and what everybody else is doing. So what everybody else is doing, really, it doesn't make sense. And those noisy know-nothings are going to do a lot to tell you how it should be. But the restaurant industry is absolute proof. Dudes, you can run a business and be human. You can run a business and be human. Restaurants do it all the time. In fact, if you do not give them a humane experience, your business goes under. That's why restaurants don't survive if they're not cutting it. Food speaks for itself. And it's the only business in the world that has that standard. The other business is book publication. I came from the book publication world. That's where I did all of my stuff. That's actually how I noticed it. Is I was like, whoa, books are doing that too. So the book publication world has this figured out, and restaurant industry has it figured out. Those are the two industries that have this figured out. No one else is following this. I don't understand why. Only these two have this business model figured out. So when I built Mother Nature's business model, what I did was I reverse engineered it from Mother Nature. Academic disciplines. This is how we discover a new academic discipline. So I found it and I built it based off of what I was finding. And I started to notice that it matched the restaurant industry and the book publication industry. And I'm like, this is fascinating. These two people have it figured out. No one else has it figured out. What they have figured out is literally the criminal industry. And I kid you not, it's the criminal industry that actually also has a formula to it. And when I looked at the psychology of criminal law, criminal everything, the criminal mind, the criminal language, it is 100% embedded into the traditional business model, which is why there's mental illness all over the place. So we have a couple ways of doing this. You can either start right off and say, I'm going to commit to quality and ethics. Those are your two key things there, quality and ethics. If you're 12 to 18 and you're going, this is what I want, fantastic. We're going to walk you through. It's going to be so much. Oh, you got all the building blocks, and we walk you through each and every step of the process. If you are between 18 and 35 going, okay, I want to be a business owner now, but I got to clear out some junk and I'm starting a little late, not a problem. We're going to go ahead and set you up. If you are an aspiring business owner and you're in one of those positions where you've got, okay, I'm trying to figure out, but I've got all these noisy nothings, you're going to have the work of clearing out all that noise. And then after you clear out the noise, you can get, I mean, you don't have to get over to the right side. And then as you go, you're just going to have more work to do, which we will work with you on those 4 pieces that we showed you earlier. And then if you are already established, then it's just upgrading. It's literally just converting. And it's not, you're going to convert, basically, you're going to nurture your network. You're going to convert the way you do sales. You're going to convert the way you do marketing. Those are the 2 key pieces. Your marketing and your sales are the problem. Everything else, and then your network. Your network is, I have yet to see a network that isn't completely broken by a corporate, like, I have yet to see it. And that's really, it's the tier that needs to get fixed. It's are you going to be McDonald's or are you going to be an elite restaurant? What's your experience here? And it's one of the things that I love is Apple has this kind of figured out. Apple has this figured out where you walk into any other store and it's McDonald's, but you walk into an Apple store and you feel that, okay, this is up there. And this is where Apple's trying. They don't have the formula, but they're trying to do something nicer, and they haven't quite gotten it figured out. But Apple's definitely there. AT&T is also there. So the phone companies, the high-tech companies are starting to figure it out. See, New York City, we do this. New York City, there are some stores you can't go into without a security guard sitting there making sure that you are quality enough to get in. You can do that for your business. Not sure if you want to, but you can do that for your business. And if you're going to, you've got to figure out the price range of your patrons. And that's really it. So if your patrons are in this dollar amount, they're going to fall here. If they're in this dollar amount, they're going to fall here. And if they're in this dollar amount, they're going to fall here. So it really depends. This is something that most people don't even think about. They don't even know it's an option. They don't even, and I'm going to tell you right now, when I started getting into this with the Healing Guard, I had a bunch of noisy know-nothings assuming I was selling to patrons. I don't sell to patrons. If you are a patron and you want something that's, if you are foundational and you're just getting started, we have the DIY course for you. I have a whole team that I put together, and that's all they do. It's not what I do. I work with CEOs. I work with executives. I coach the coaches of the coaches of the coaches. That's what I do. So it's a completely different, that's like Bill Gates. Not Bill Gates. I don't like Bill Gates. I like Steve Jobs. It's like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs does not go around like, he does not hang out at an Apple store. He did not hang out at an Apple store serving people off the street. He had people who did that. He worked, because it's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different mindset. So once you understand where your people are, and this is it really is, who are your people? And this is the best thing. If you are 12 to 18, this is the best advice I can give you. One of the best advices I can give you is there is absolutely nothing holding you back. Absolutely nothing. Time. You just need to invest in your skill building. And that's what everyone has to do. Everyone has to do it, except most people don't know this. So you're ahead of the game. And when you realize, and this is all about setting your quality. I was 12 when I set my quality. I was 12 going, I want the best of the best of the best. I was 15 when one of my masters came back to me. I have to clarify. One of my teacher masters came back to me and said to me, this is quality. This is what it looks like. Raise your standards. His very first class, he was a Juilliard music instructor. And his very first class was, we're going to talk about standards and quality. And I went, I want the best of the best of the best, way up there. And then I had a Spanish teacher, master in teaching. Again, and the very first thing she did on day one was give me that lecture of, we're going to talk about quality and standards. And this is every one of my courses. Every one of my learning courses starts off with this lecture of, you need to know about quality. Because you setting the bar on your life, you setting the standard, is going to set the tone. Are you listening? Because it's going to set the tone for your life for the rest of your life. You set that bar low, and you're going to have a low quality crap life. You set that bar high, and you're going to have a fantastic, amazing life. And the higher you set that bar, the better your life is going to be. Set it as high as it can. You dream the impossible dream, and you plan to land on the stars, because that's what's going to happen. It's extraordinary. And then when you start hitting the stars, go bigger. Always go bigger. Always go bigger and better with quality. Never sacrifice quality. You know, I was watching, Gordon Ramsay is a great example of this. It's absolutely about the preservation of quality so much. You never give up quality, no matter what. You never give up your ethical integrity, and you never give up quality. That is absolutely selling out. Don't ever do it. And the number one people who want you to sell out are salesmen. Don't do it. Don't do it. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.